Bill Russell was playing with mailmen as his teammates in some cases.
I mean, god damn, bro. Like, could it be any easier? This same Celtics team damn near lost 2 games to the Cavs when their 3 best players were out.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to figure out why the Cavs fired their coach. It's like he did a pretty good job, didn't he?
I have no earthly idea why they're firing him. It's
very confusing.
definitely strikes me as being one of those things where they just like they're not even trying. Oh, we lost. Better fire our coach.
I mean, you're the Cavaliers. You're not supposed to have nice things. If
right,
you
the
can
only
find a
way it makes
coach
sense
that is
is if,
competent, you should hold on to him like grim death.
right. If you're gonna fire him in a situation like this, it only makes sense if you're trading up. You know, you're firing a guy who's not as good because you're gonna hire a guy who's better. But who's left? Like, unless the Cavs are gonna bring back David Blatt.
They get hired Darvin Ham.
The return. Yeah, it's just a startlingly bad decision. Because I'm like, it would have made sense if they did it for Budenholzer, but he's already gone.
Right.
You know, and they had their chance. They could have put out feelers anytime they wanted, you know, if this is something that they wanted to do. And, you know, you brought up Darvin Ham, and it's like, yeah, that's about the only guys available right now. Like, what are you doing?
Pretty confusing.
Unless you're hoping to poach assistants from some other team, but, like, that's not really the thing either. Like, what the hell's left?
So how was your day?
Like I said, I only woke up like 2 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
So far, it hasn't been bad.
That's good. Better than the alternative.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to sleep last night at 8, woke up at 2, played Payday for a few hours, went to bed around 6, and got up at like 10 or something. Which is really weird, and I don't recommend doing it very often, but it ended up working out pretty well for me, I think.
Yeah. Well, the important thing is that you feel better.
I do have that, like, sore throat thing right now where my throat is sore, but I don't feel sick otherwise. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's usually just a sign of the dehydration.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Control, I was just scratching my balls. You don't know what that means because you ain't got no balls, but that's okay. Little birdie's home. It's secure.
Have you kids ever heard the word
control. I'd have called in before, but I was so fucking bored I couldn't bring myself to talk. But here I am.
Oh, there are 3 guards in here. Whoa.
Scout the place and hit him hard. All right, that's the jewelry store. Get the required amount.
But yeah, like, I haven't even wanted to watch any of the playoff games involving the Celtics because it feels like a foregone conclusion. Now, I know they've lost 2 games and all that, but it's like there's like no part of me that is intrigued in seeing how these games go. It feels so...
Yeah. Believe me, everyone else feels the same way. The only people that are happy about this are Celtics fans. The only people.
Mhm.
Because when you watch these games, what do you see? It's a lot like that thing that fucking Titan posted earlier. Let me see here. At least I think it was Titan. It might have been somebody else. Yeah. The Jason Tatum cycle of front running. New game starts. Celtics gain insurmountable lead while Tatum shits the bed. Outcome of game determined. Celtics will win. Tatum clearly shown to not be essential for a Celtics win. Tatum stays in when the team is up 25 points and boosts his stats.
I should go home.
Celtics fans, check his stats. He's the MVP. You are here.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like Tatum not only sucks, but like because again, when I said that Bam was better than Tatum, I was and people were freaking out, and I'm all like, bro, Bam doesn't run from competition. Bam actually has a demonstrable impact on the floor, and if Bam has a bad game, the team loses. If Tatum has a bad game, his team frequently wins. You see this almost every single game where Tatum sucks ass, complete ass. And then Brown will either hit insanely lucky shots or he'll just be hot that night regardless. And the Celtics will gain a huge lead. It's basically impossible for the other team to come back. They sub in their bench guys, and then Tatum just feasts on a bunch of G Leaguers. And then before you know it, he's finished with a 30-point triple double. It's not because he's an amazing player, because for the first 3 quarters of the game, he was 1 for 13 and had like 3 assists. You know,
Down.
he's playing like shit. But then he
Yeah.
stays in to pad his stats at the end of the game. He's a taller Russell Westbrook. However, his team is insanely stacked, and because of how insanely lucky they're getting with how injured they are, he's probably just going to win the ring anyway. It's going to be super fraudulent, but like there's nothing about this where in a typical year you can sit there and say, "Oh man, what a great narrative!" Because like I was watching some clips of LeBron's runs with the Heat earlier, like a 45-point game 6 against the Celtics in 2012.
Deviled egg LeBron. Yeah.
Exactly. That one was trending because KG and Pierce, doing a lot of podcasting and shit,
Mhm.
they had the audacity to say that they were better than LeBron. They were better than LeBron's teams. They said we broke LeBron, and they were saying like he had to run to Miami to go blah blah blah. And I'm all like, you fucking pieces of shit. KG, how many rings did you win with Minnesota? You ran to a super team and started this whole thing in the first place. You won one. And then LeBron has way more. He's got more than that big three combined. And fucking he just absolutely annihilated that team. And it's hilarious because when you go back and rewatch the highlights of that game, not only were the Heat up by double digits, literally the entire game.
Secure.
The moment it became possible to be up by double digits, the only time it wasn't was like the first minute of the first quarter. But the Heat immediately it starts out like 14-4. And LeBron has 10 of those points.
Yeah, like we've talked about this before. I mean, I don't even like LeBron or anything, but when he was in Cleveland, there were years where he had like Jamario Moon and 41-year-old Shaq as his key teammates. Of course, he's not going to beat that Celtics team.
Right. And I was watching Udonis Haslam, Mario Chalmers, Shane Battier, and Mike Miller were all doing a podcast together, and they were talking about that game. And they said going into that game, I have never in my life felt more confident about a game that I should not have been confident in. that was not is it just we have to win this game or we're eliminated, because we were facing elimination and the Celtics weren't. But if we lose this game, the Big Three experiment is blown up. We're all going to be sent somewhere else, and probably our careers are over at that point. I've never felt more confident about a game that I should not have been confident in, because with all that pressure on us, the bus arriving to the game that day, they said it was 45 minutes late. They showed up to the game 40 minutes before tip-off. LeBron was So before they get off the bus, he looks around at his boys on the team and he says, "Don't worry, guys, I got it tonight." And that was the last words they heard any of them speak until the game started. He scored 45 points. He only missed 5 shots all game. He scored in literally every way that is possible to score. He scored with 3-pointers. He scored with post fadeaways. He scored with post hooks. He scored tip-in offensive rebound dunks, many dunks, and one layups, floaters. Like, if you can think of a shot that it's possible to hit, he hit it. And that was the quietest game that I've ever seen in my life. This is the Boston crowd. This is the hated Miami Heat. This is hated LeBron. They should have been louder than ever, but they were dead silent the entire game. Not only that, LeBron never said. He played all 48 minutes.
I remember watching that game live. It was a pretty wild thing, yeah.
The whole reason I'm bringing it up is because it's like, even if you hated LeBron, even if you hated the Heat, watching that was history in the making.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the reason to watch Heat games, because you're like, God damn, look at this guy. He's taking over. You don't get that with this Celtics team. You don't get that with Tatum. So what do you have instead? Are they playing perfect basketball? No. Jaylen Brown, the three-pointer he hit to force overtime, and the only reason that they won game 1, that was the only 3 that he made the entire game. He was 1 for 6. This isn't perfect basketball. It's literally just everything that could possibly be going right for them. There's no narrative. There's no star in the making. There's no history happening here. This is literally just the basketball equivalent of a participation trophy. Nobody cares.
Down on the fucking ground. Stay down. Get down, asshole. And stay put.
Like, it feels like every time that Celtics core fails to win a title, that front office finds a way to immediately just completely rejigger everything in a way that you wouldn't think you'd be able to do in the NBA, right? Like,
yeah, it truly does bother me, because I'm sitting here like, why the hell hasn't Pat been able to do even one of the moves that these guys have made?
mm-hmm.
You know, sure, we didn't need Porzingis, but Drew Holiday would have made a hell of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting rid of Hero, because the Celtics' big-time addition by subtraction, getting rid of Marcus Smart, who was really holding them back, even though he won a fraudulent Defensive Player of the Year award. Man, like, it's not even close. I'm sitting like, you know, it is what it is, but man, just keep making moves. It feels crazy that they're making these moves. The whole thing's bullshit. Nobody wants them to win. There's nothing special going on here. It's not perfect basketball. It's not history in the making. It's not a great narrative. It's not a Star is Born. It's not any of this shit. Tatum's not having any all-time great playoff performances like Devil Day LeBron that you just have to see it to believe it. You'll tell your kids about it someday. Like, this is just the most injured fucking path to victory we've ever seen. Ugh. So yeah, when I saw that fucking Halliburton left the game, I was like, bro, just fucking
You're already
end
going
it
to win this
already. My
series
God.
anyway. Win this fucking series anyway.
Yeah, it's just so stupid.
Follow.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it, Big Country. Hunt was killing it in AAA. Not that that necessarily means anything.
Follow me.
Mm-hmm. I definitely wanted a reliever. We needed one, but I don't know very much about the guy we got.
That's what we're after. Get it to the van.
I mean, I'd say maybe we can fix him like we fix a lot of bullpen arms, but if that's the case, get somebody cheaper. If you're going to be fixing him anyway.
I think the important thing is just that you find yourself a pitcher who doesn't play like he's been fixed.
Mm-hmm. That too. That's crucial.
Like, this entire fucking Miami Marlins team.
Mm-hmm.
It just pisses me off so much. I'm like, okay, so we win 75% of our games after it's already way too fucking late.
Well,
Jesus.
they felt bad for Pim.
Obviously.
Just take a slice, you. You.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did too. He probably should have been there from the start if we're being honest. Maybe they like Harry Ford so much they know he's going to be up inevitably and they won't need Hunt. I don't know. So, my mom is going to be reaching the Social Security age pretty soon here, right? She's very close to reaching the age where you can start to collect Social Security. So, she was looking at the thing they send her when she's getting close. And you can either start getting, I think it's like, I think it said something like you can get about, I think it was like $700 a month now, or $750 a month if you wait until you're 70. So, about 5 years. And I was like, that's a terrible deal. Like, there's no way inflation's going to be that slow over the next 5 years. Who the hell would take that? Like, I could understand it if it was actually growing at a rate roughly commiserate or maybe even outstripping inflation, then there's at least an argument, but it barely goes up at all, and it's 5 years. And 5 years is a big deal when you've reached that age, I'm going to assume Snacks left for a second.
What?
Oh, okay, there you... Did you hear any of the stuff I was just saying?
No, I had a spider on my wall. I needed to crush it. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a pretty good reason. No, I was just saying, so my mom is almost at the age where you can start to collect social security, right?
Right.
So she was reading the thing that they send out, and basically, I can't remember the exact amounts, but it was like, okay, so once you turn 65, You can either start getting, I think it was like $700 a month, or you can wait 5 years, and when you're 70, you start getting $750 a month. And I'm like, that's a terrible deal. Who the hell would take that? Like, inflation's going to go up way faster than that.
And that's during times where inflation's not a huge crisis.
Yeah.
In the Biden years, inflation wipes that out in a month. Yeah, why the fuck? Like the reason that they do that is because they're trying to fool stupid people, and also because people are at that age, people who might have dementia, or um, you might have people like power of attorney. Their children or a caretaker is thinking, oh, sure, I'll hold that off for 5 years so that I can get more money. Because the thing with Social Security is the way it was always designed, you're not supposed to collect it.
Mm-mm.
Because the government doesn't want to pay that out. When they set the Social Security collection age back in the 30s when they created it,
Mm-hmm.
that's because that was the average life expectancy. They were hoping you would be dead before you came to collect. So all the government would do was basically it's just another tax. Because there's no Social Security treasury vault. As they pay it out, they just pay it out, the same way the government pays everything else out, where they just print money and they say, here you go. But when people pay into Social Security and they get taxed from their paychecks, that just goes straight to the government to become budget.
Mm-hmm. Like, I could understand it if maybe it was something designed to keep up with inflation, where maybe if you collected now, you would get 600 a month, but if you waited 5 years, you would get like 800 a month. But it's like
A
literally
hundred,
$50 more.
right? Right. 100 years ago, when they came up with this, it was one of the first uh one of the first examples of Gibbs me dads. And by the time they instituted it, they had already been taxing people, so the mindset always becomes, well, fuck, I've been paying it into it my whole life. You can't take it away from me now. But you're exactly correct. That's insanely stupid. And they're just hoping that they can take advantage of retarded people or people who have degenerative neurological disorders like Alzheimer's or dementia. They're hoping people with power of attorney delay it so that they can collect more later on. That's all it is they're just like, they're hoping that you just drop dead so then they don't have to pay you at all. And that's why the government is scum. I don't know if you saw, but I sent you a tweet earlier today from footage from C-SPAN, 17 votes away
Yeah, I saw that.
from the House. Because, I mean, it would still, like, there was no chance it was ever going to pass, because in order to change that, it's written in the Constitution that you have to do these things. So to have to pass with a humongous majority in order to make it a constitutional amendment. But that's what they were proposing. It's like they actually tried it, and it came within 17 votes. You're bullshitting me. Like, that's fucking impossible. So yeah, like as I'm seeing that, I'm all like, okay, that does it. We're young enough, only in our 30s. I think at this point it's a guarantee. We're gonna live long enough to see America fall apart.
Who's to say we haven't already?
Well, yeah, but I mean, you see that shit, and it's like, yeah, this isn't gonna last much longer.
Do you think with declining birth rates, Social Security will be abolished? I mean, I guess they wouldn't if they just view it as another tax, right?
It's political suicide to try to do that, but they're trying very hard to come up with an alternative. Yeah. But if you become the guy who says, I want to get rid of Social Security, because you got to understand is that the vast majority of voters are the elderly, which is why so many policies in this country are about supporting the elderly. So if you become the politician who runs on a campaign of I'm going to reform Social Security and basically get rid of it, you're fucked. Because that's like 2/3 of voters are Social Security collecting age.
That's all we need. But feel free to stick around for more.
Like, are people actually expected to live off of that? 650-ish dollars a month? I guess if you get a really good deal on one of those assisted living homes, it's feasible, but I'm guessing it's just meant to supplement the savings that they hope that you will have at that age.
Yeah, it's the whole thing's just a big fucking joke.
Silent professional. Like
Very nice. So the moral of the story is it seems like it's a good idea to start collecting Social Security as soon as you can, rather than waiting.
Yeah, because even though it was designed to be like a pension, it was supposed to be something that, you know, the elderly could live off of. $700 a month isn't gonna fucking do it. Not even close.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you imagine that you're somebody who doesn't have debt, even if you imagine that you're somebody who doesn't have a mortgage because you paid it off before you hit retirement age, because you're somebody who doesn't, you know, have other kinds of loans that they need to pay off because you've already done it. That might have applied to the generation before the boomers, but the boomers, they're completely like with reverse mortgages and they needed to own 18,000 boats and all this kind of crap. Like the boomers are more heavily in debt than anybody else. And that's going to be a huge issue coming up in the next couple of years when all these people who have insane amounts of debt, because the average American household credit card debt, credit card alone, is $32,000.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody like me has zero and somebody like you, I'm just going to assume that if it's not zero, it's at least very low,
Yeah.
then in order for the average to be that high, there got to be people out there easily in six figures of credit card debt. So when these people fucking croak and then they still have all this debt, you know, on the book, what do these companies do? A lot of the time they just write it off on their taxes, but like, how often can you do that? And that's the big question. But anyway, yeah, you obviously want to collect it as soon as you can because there's no prerequisite to collecting Social Security besides being old enough.
Yeah.
It's not like disability where you have to not be working. So yeah, it's just free money.
Well, it's not freebie if you've
Actually,
been paying into it your whole life.
yeah. But at the same time, just like when you get your tax refund back, it was a horrific investment because by the time you get the money back, it's worth less than when you paid it out. Plus, um, it was an interest-free loan, in the best case scenario. But like,
Mm-hmm.
what baffles me is that people can collect Social Security when they never worked. Like,
Yeah. That is an interesting one. Now that
and
you
that's another
mention
thing
it.
to consider too, you know, is that if both, if you're a married couple and both are old enough to collect Social Security, then that 700 becomes 1,400 a month for the household, which is at least a little bit better. But, um, you know, imagine you're
Yeah.
an old school couple and the wife just stayed home that whole time and she collects $700 a month in Social Security when she never had a job.
I mean, it's such a relatively small amount of money. I think that's pretty. I don't think that's like a huge problem or anything like that. That is interesting, though. I guess then that would open up like the can of worms of like, well, okay, how much did you work? What did you make when you worked?
Right. Oh, um, I'm not done with Warhammer.
Hmm.
Not by a long shot, but the initial oohs and ahs of the new DLC has worn on because it's been 3 weeks. I've already done most of the new stuff you can do and
Right.
heavily enjoyed it. And I'm not done. I'm gonna continue playing it, but I'm like, yeah, I definitely have. The sheen has worn off of the new stuff now.
Okay. Fair enough. That seems reasonable.
Easily well worth my money's worth though. For fucking $7, I got a hell of a lot of enjoyment out of that.
Mm. Very nice. I can dig it. Mm, 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 mm.
I'm just so devastated that the Nuggets didn't make it. Especially watching how pathetic that fucking game one was. Like, man, I wish they were playing Dallas. Minnesota just sucks. Like, that was some of the sloppiest basketball I've ever watched in my life. And especially when it was close at the end and it could have been a big nail biter, but Cat, who hit 1 3 all game, or maybe 2, but 1 in the second half. And it was a huge one. It actually gave Minnesota a 1 point lead with like 3 minutes left.
Yeah.
And then he just kept going nuts with it. He just kept taking bad threes. And I was watching the alternate cast. You had Bomani Jones, Vince Carter, and 2 other guys who I can't remember. They're all doing a cast together and talking about the game. Literally every time that they're like, "No, what are you doing?" They're like, "What the hell's he doing?" It's like he hit one and now he thinks he's him. He hit one, now he thinks he's God who can do anything that he pleases. He hit one and now he thinks that
Hmm.
it's his time. It's like, bro, why? It's a 1 point game. Why are you taking a 3 5 seconds into the shot clock? With 90 seconds left in the game, in a 1 point game.
It doesn't make very
Especially
much
by that point,
sense.
the Mavs were exhausted and their rebounding was completely like Naz Reid actually scored a lot and got like 6 offensive rebounds in the last 2 minutes of the game because Dallas was exhausted and their rebounding just wasn't there. So it's like, just go inside. What are you kidding?
It's okay, control.
Taking a 3 5 seconds into the shot clock. Oh yeah, good job. And now they can dribble out another 20 seconds off the clock here. What are you doing?
I think it's time to start asking the question, has Jason Kidd become a better coach with the time he's put into it and the experience he's built up? Because it seems like it's not the disaster that I was expecting. I don't know if he's just
I'll
going up
give him
against worse coaches, but
I'll give him credit for this. That I don't think he's as terrible as I was initially saying at the beginning of the season, but I still think he's below average. He's made a lot of extremely questionable substitutions.
mhm.
However, he's developed enough to be able to know when it's not working and who he needs to get in.
Yeah.
So that's something that he's got to work on. Another thing that he's got to work on is the offensive scheme. Because a lot of what he's been doing is he's like, okay, let's just get the ball into the hands of Luka or Kyrie, and then just let him do whatever. He's not really running a set, and that's caused Luka's had a shitload of turnovers all postseason. That's a huge reason why. So it's like, look, you may want to consider actually coming up with a good half court set here instead of just saying, all right, Luka, do whatever the hell you want. Like, there's got to be enough talented offensive coaching assistants out there that get it like a guy like Alvin Gentry, who fucking basically came up with that Warriors dynasty offensive playbook by himself. See if he'd like a job. Like, there's lots he could do to sit, do better than just, okay, let's just have Luka do whatever he can come up with, and then Luka comes away with 8 turnovers, and you're like, oh man, it's a good thing that we're just incredibly good at basketball and we won that game by like 3 points. Like, you don't need to do that. I still think he's below average. However, he is improving. There's a lot that he needs to work on still, but he has improved. Right now, Dallas is just getting by that they just got more talent. Like Luka and Kyrie are just so fucking insanely good. Because they very nearly lost that last series to OKC if Luka kept playing poorly, but
Yeah.
he actually turned it on when he needed to and turned the whole series around. Yeah. But yeah, I can think of a lot worse coaches than Kidd based off of what he's done this postseason at least.
I forget, does Minnesota have their head coach, or is he still recovering from his leg injury and they have the assistant out there?
I think they might be still using the assistant.
That would explain a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
Hey, you ever been to Cuba? Well, I have. It fucking sucks. It's too hot and there's comments everywhere. Got a body bag case here.
Respect that. However, I've got to say, this isn't me just being a delusional Heat fan. I really do believe this. Fuck. There's another spider in my room. Hold on. And it crawled onto my bed. I'm getting him now. Shit. Whatever. Just gotta keep an eye out for it. Why are there so many fucking spiders in my house now? God damn it.
You're supposed to go outside when the weather warms up.
Exactly. Anyway. I was gonna say, from what we've seen out of the Celtics this postseason, especially the way that they've struggled to put the Cavs away, when they were missing their 3 best players.
Mm-hmm.
If it went the other way and Tyler Hero got injured again instead of Jimmy, I think we beat him.
Seems reasonable. Yeah, I don't see how anybody could be impressed by the Celtics other than the fact that they somehow keep winning games. And, you know, there's something to be said for that, I guess. But, like...
Yeah,
it,
that whole meme of this ain't the flex you think it is, Chief. It's rough.
mhm. The Pacers had their chance, and they blew it.
Like I was saying, they needed to win at least 2 out of these first 3 games before Porzingis comes back. They lost the first 2. So Porzingis comes back in game 4. It's probably going to be a sweep, especially with Halliburton injured.
I guess that at the end of the day, the Pacers, I mean, they're a live by the chaos, die by the chaos team, so it makes sense that they would have their season fall apart because of some nonsense like this. So, like, that's the deal they make when they build a team like this, built on chaos. Where they just chuck a bunch of threes, and sometimes they all go in, and they win, and sometimes enough don't go in, and they lose, and that's all there is to it.
Oh man, that was hilarious.
You keep
Just
quiet, will you?
memed my
That guy
companion.
could be sneaking
It's
around.
always
I
enjoyable.
don't want him to hear you.
Smell
Ah, it
like
extra sucks to see that fucking spider crawling around on the floor, because I'm like, well, now that it's gone under my bed, where does it go? Do I sit here and wait and hope that he crawls up the wall so that I can get at him? Or do I have to wait until I feel the fucking thing crawling on my feet?
what you do is you get a gigantic flamethrower and torch your bed.
Yeah, sometimes I wish I lived in like a space station. That's what I could do is just be like, okay, let me just vent the atmosphere in my fucking room real quick.
What? You think I'm sleeping on the job? You don't trust me? What are we gonna do if you don't trust me, huh? We're gonna have to talk about this, but later.
You know what extra pisses me off about all these spiders running around?
The fact that they're disgusting and creepy and...
No, is that lizards eat spiders. Like they're a natural predator for spiders.
Mhm.
Lizards eat a lot of spiders, and there are so many fucking lizards in my neighborhood. It's insane. They're all over the damn place. There's probably no exaggeration, thousands on my street alone.
Really?
Place the
Yeah.
body back
We don't
here.
have any.
So how the fuck do all these fucking spiders get past those damn lizards? Son of a bitch.
Mhm.
It's very upsetting.
secure. Hey, no reason to be so edgy, Control. Everything is fine over here.
Where is Mike D'Antoni these days, by the way? He's not a head coach right now, right? So, where is he?
Sure, why not? We might find use for it later. Looks like the EMP isn't here, but there might be some other valuable loot for us. You can either check it now, or come back later.
He's not like an assistant somewhere, is he? Good.
I'm not gonna lie. Intel tells us the EMP bomb will
Advisor for the Pelicans. Wow.
use this opportunity to scout the area. The place is heavily
Say whatever you want to say. I think D'Antoni is one of the best coaches in basketball. The fact that he can't find a head coaching job,
look for the Merc and Water trains.
and guys like fucking Darvin Ham and Tyronn Lue can, is absurd.
Hell, even right now, if D'Antoni was coaching that Mavs team, that'd be a huge fucking improvement. I'd love to see Kyrie in 7 seconds or less.
Yeah.
And of course, Luke could probably win an MVP. D'Antoni farms MVPs, bro. Like he gets his guys a lot of fucking MVPs with his system.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have any championships, but it's fucking hard to win. Like
Mm-hmm.
people hold like the weirdest fucking things up as being evidence of being good at your job. So Tyronn Lue is complete dog shit, but he gets credit for winning a championship because he was an empty suit. He was just along for the ride. I would have won a championship as the coach of that fucking Cavs team.
No, you
All I
wouldn't
had to do
have.
was just stand there and say, yes, sir, LeBron, or no, sir, LeBron. That's
Well,
it.
you would have called LeBron a bunch of slurs, so no, you would not have won that title.
Well, hey, remember, in those stories, LeBron plays better after being called a slur. That would have been instead of shoot around like the whole thing. I would have just been like, "You're nothing but a no good." You know what Ernie Johnson thinks of you, man. Tyronn Lue gets credit for that fucking ring, and then they give guys who are incredible. Like it's wild. Guys that have difficulty finding jobs, but then somebody like Glenn gets hired again instantly.
Like, could you imagine if D'Antoni got to coach LeBron at some point in his career, the numbers LeBron would have put up?
Right. Like Alvin Gentry right now is let me see here. Is the vice president of basketball engagement for the Sacramento Kings. I don't even know what the hell that means.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's got no pop. I think he still leads the team in batting average outside of Luke Raleigh. Luke Rayleigh. But oh yeah, probably Rojas is still above him too. But no power whatsoever. It's bizarre.
I think there was a piece of tinfoil on the antenna. It's fixed now.
Like, it's been 2 months now. It's kind of crazy we're still having these conversations.
The murky water trains will be locked by some kind of security panel. We'll most likely have to hack them to get the doors open. Could never go wrong with that, I guess. Might be somewhere it can be useful later. Good job. Look around and see if you can find the EMP parts. Damn, where did this door come from? Sorry, gang. I had no information this would be here. Looks like we're going to need a key card to get past this.
You know what I think?
We're taking a huge risk by double-crossing Aiken, but I believe this is the right choice. First thing is getting the EMP bomb that is getting intel
I just really wanted LeBron to win, guys.
train yard is right in front of you. There should be several ways you can infiltrate the place, so make your choices wisely. Remember, we're doing this silent. If the alarm goes off, we are screwed. Find your way inside and locate the murky water trains. The EMP parts will most likely be in different wagons. Maybe that equipment will come in handy later, so hold on to it. Could never go wrong with that, I guess. Might be somewhere it can be useful later. There's no advantage of shooting civilians. Stay pro, man.
Yeah, there's an advantage. They're dead and they can't bother me anymore.
Drones with cameras. Really? Murky Water are stepping up their game. Be careful that you
Hold
don't
on,
get
my
spotted.
cat's trying to communicate with me.
What's it saying? I want chicken, I want liver.
She's really old and she's got bum legs, so I think she wants down,
Mhm.
or she might just want attention.
We might find use for it later. The murky water trains will have a security panel on the side.
I mean, Vlad's already fallen off a cliff before he got to the Mariners. I don't know why we would want to trade for him. So he could fall off another cliff and basically be a corpse. Like, that's what hitters do. They
Yes.
fall off a cliff after they go to Seattle. If he's already fallen off before, like, seems like a bad idea to me.
Yeah. If he falls off a cliff before he goes to Seattle, then when he gets to Seattle, he won't even be able to cut it in the Mexican League.
Mm-hmm. You kids heard of the word. Do a barrel roll, barrel roll, barrel roll. Do a barrel roll. Damn it, that was actually going well. Dang. Well, that means he's no good for us, JS. Because we clearly don't have a competent hitting coach. So that's not going to work. Is there seriously not one down here? That's wacky.
Actual murky water trains. They should have some kind of panels on the side. We're in. Now look for the EMP parts. Looks like the EMP isn't here, but there might be some other valuable loot for us. You can either check it now or come back later.
Okay, we got it secured.
Damn, looks like the EMP isn't in this train car. There could still be some valuable loot here, so either grab it now or come back for it later. Your choice.
Are you fucking kidding me? You little cocksucker. Frickin' Bracken Fire, Crackin' Sis Boom Ba, Bugs Bunny, rah rah rah.
Parts, and that's what we're here for. But with that said, if you see an opportunity to grab other valuable loot, you should do it. More money in our pockets, and it should also win us some favor with Locke. That's it. The hidden train yard. Use this opportunity to scout the area. The place is heavily guarded by Murkies and cameras, so we can't afford to make any mistakes. Get in and look for the Murky water trains. You should be able to spot them fairly easily. Remember that the EMP bomb is 2 parts, and I don't have to remind you, we need both. Sure, why not? We might find use for it later.
Nutsack Monday.
Remember when Worf on Nutsack Monday accidentally detonated that one ship?
I still like how adding the women and children to the escape pods would not increase their destructive power in the slightest. But it's like an important part of the process as far as he's concerned.
Exactly. They're like, Captain, they weren't designed as weapons. This is a really stupid idea. I understand, Mr. Data. Do what I told you to do.
Shut up,
Oh
Wesley.
man, that's good stuff. Exactly.
The Murky water trains will be locked by some kind of security panel. We'll most likely have to hack them to get the doors open.
You know, honestly, that's such a weird moment in TNG. Like, he tells Crusher to go do a job. Crusher goes to do the job, and he's trying to report his findings to Picard, who is supposed to be the rational one, the reasonable one, and he's just like, no, shut up. That, like, doesn't really make sense, you know? If you're being straight honest.
I think it was because of the lead-in to the what ended up happening there.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way it starts off is he goes, "Sir, while I know that this may finish me as an acting ensign," he's like, "What? Shut up." The dumbest sequence of words ever uttered.
What a poorly written character.
Yes.
Oh well.
Pretty fitting, though, because it was played by the worst person ever.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. I am an idiot.
We know. You figured that out a while
I
ago.
got myself killed on accident. I was like, oops. I targeted the wrong enemy.
You accidentally launch a bunch of women and children in escape pods into the
Yes,
enemy vessel?
that's correct.
Because, you know, that might be idiocy, but it might also be, you know, an act of pure genius.
Absolute genius. I agree.
So keep quiet, will you? Bad guys could be sneaking around there. I don't want them to hear you.
You dullard was reflection. Your house bulldozed to make way for a glorious Soviet tractor factory.
Many such cases.
Yeah, I
Aww.
enjoyed that one. It was like this one thread where creepy pastas were replaced with Soviet posting,
Mm-hmm.
where they would change the ending to be some sort of Russian nonsense. There was one where it was like the brother realizes that his sister's been replaced with a demon. So they changed the ending around, so the father's all like, "Do not make fun of your sister. She was too close to Chernobyl power plant when radioactive leak occurred. Such is life in Moscow. Go back to sleep."
That's pretty good.
Then the house bulldoze one was like, you see a creepy figure outside and they're approaching you, but then you realize that what you were seeing wasn't them outside your window, it was actually the reflection and they were inside your house the whole time. So the ending has changed. You dullard was reflection. Your house bulldozed to make way for a glorious Soviet tractor factory.
I used to be super into creepypastas. There are some really good ones. Very few. A lot of them are complete garbage, but
Yes.
there are some genuinely good ones.
I think it's important to read things like that. You know, even if it's not necessarily your bag, just to be aware of those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you're reading absolute slop, what it does is create a finer appreciation for the artistic process. You know, because everybody can complain that something is bad, but you don't really see how difficult it is to come up with something good until you see how terrible the average person ends up being when they attempt something. You know?
Mm-hmm. Right. It's not easy.
I want to play some cards. I come over to you, okay? I don't tell the boss if you don't.
That being said, I think everybody can tell the difference between something just being tough and you coming up short versus you know, just making slop because you're lazy and stupid.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard to write a compelling story for a video game. It's probably hard to write a
Yeah.
movie or a book, but for a video game, the story is just, you know, a secondary part of what they're doing, and You should be able to do better than something like Forspoken.
Yeah.
Tua is a.
Exactly. I was trying to do some Star Trek Voyager stories where Tuvok would be giving a very boring speech and Janeway would have enough, so finally, in a fit of frustration, she yells out, "Oh my god, Tuvok, shut up, you space N-word." But it never ended up working out because Janeway would always apologize. I'm like, that's not what I wanted her to do at all.
Sometimes you have to like have it write multiple stories and then meld them together.
Yeah.
The SpongeBob creepypasta was one I legit believed when I was younger. Yeah. I mean, looking back at it, that one's like the quintessential terrible creepypasta story. But at the time, I guess it was pretty good. But it, has all the terrible lost episode tropes. Like, oh, I was an intern at Nickelodeon and I got to watch SpongeBob episodes before they were. It's like, no, the fuck you didn't. Like, interns don't get to do that shit. Like, stop. Come up with a better. Come up with a different scenario for how you actually saw this thing. It shouldn't be that hard to come up with something.
That's the point. It's flop.
Looks like the EMP isn't in this train car. There could still be some valuable loot here, so either grab it now or come back for it later. Your choice.
Dark matter. Every time I see the word dark matter, I just think of Buzz Lightyear's top buddy from the animated TV series, who ended up betraying him.
Now, I loved that Buzz Lightyear Star Command,
Yeah, I watched that a lot when I was young.
but I'm trying to remember. Was that the one that was voiced by Diedrich Bader? Is the character you're talking about?
I'm not sure, but did you ever see the Buzz Lightyear Star Command movie they did?
I can't remember because if I did, I was a kid, and this is like 20 or more years ago.
He had like a partner, a ranger partner who quote unquote died at the start of the movie. And it turns out that, it was like one of those cop movies from the 80s where like, oh, the partner cop quote unquote dies, but no, he actually lives and he's just faking his death so he can join the bad guy things. I can't remember who voiced
Yeah.
him though.
Thinking about it now, and I'm all like, wow, that show had a lot of talent. Because if I remember correctly, the robot was voiced by Drew Carey, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Then I forget the name of the guy, but he's in a ton of stuff. The guy that voices Buzz is
Patrick Warburton, yeah.
yeah, there you go. Voices Brock Sampson and Joe Swanson.
Yeah, he's putty.
Then like I said, one of the guys I remember, one of the antagonists was Diedrich Bader.
Mm-hmm. Hold on. The dude's Warp Dark Matter. Voiced by Diedrich Bader. Yes, there we go.
Yeah, that's the guy I was thinking of, definitely. You had Wayne Knight voiced Zurg.
Oh, yeah.
Nicole Sullivan, who was the Blue Lady character.
Mm.
Oh no, I was correct. Or incorrect, sorry. Drew Carey did not voice the robot.
Tim Allen did Buzz Lightyear in the movie they did, but they couldn't get him back for the TV show, so they got Warburton, which was a great choice.
Yes.
You're not. Look in the basement. Okay.
Little birdie's home.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. You're up. Valentine's Day is a day where girls give chocolates to boys, not boys to boys.
Excellent. You found a keycard. Now, head back to the train and open that sucker.
No, I'm not alright. I'm pissed, okay? When I get back there, I'm gonna fucking kick some ass all over the fucking place.
Naughty Dog working on a new IP? Hmm. I mean, I've enjoyed more Naughty Dog games than I haven't, so... Although I wish they'd just make another Jak and Daxter game. It's been fucking forever. The first Jak and Daxter was the first video game that I really, really got into, I think. I'm not going to say it was an amazing game or anything, but it was a great time that I had with that game. Really well done.
That that experience for me was Spider-Man on the PS1.
Not the
That's
Electro
why,
one, right?
yeah, the Electro one was the sequel. That was Spider-Man 2. First one was Very, very good.
Mhm.
Come on, I was
So that's why, you know, for me, all these years later, that's my Spider-Man.
Today we're going to be playing Spider-Man 2.
You see this balloon? You don't get this balloon. Wait, wrong Spider-Man.
Motherfucker. Alright. Alright, we did it. I have fond memories of the Octo Carnage Spider-Man. Yeah, I don't think I remember that one.
That's the final boss of the first one. What happens is that the basic story of the game is that at the very beginning of the game, Spider-Man is framed as murdering Doc Ock. And the thing is that Doc Ock, even though everybody knows him as the villain, he has become reformed. So it looks like Spider-Man is just murdering him in revenge for all those years of villainy. Even though by this point Doc Ock has left prison, he's paid his debt to society, is reformed, blah blah blah. So it looks like, you know, just evil. But the thing is that Peter's watching this guy dressed up as Spider-Man kill Doc Ock, and he's like, "That's not me, obviously, because I'm right here, so I'm being framed." So he knows that he can't tell anybody that Spider-Man was framed as Peter Parker because that would give the game away. So instead, he's got to clear his own name as Spider-Man. So at the very beginning, the police are all out to get you. They're all trying to get you, but then you're also trying to stop a horrific bank robbery. And he's hoping that by continuing to be a hero, he may convince the police to calm down, especially when a bunch of villains are acting as mercenaries for this group that conducted that bank robbery.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it still doesn't work out. So he says, okay, the only person in the world who could really help me here is going to be Venom because he's, you know, the only neutral player here. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that if someone appearing to be Spider-Man appears to have killed somebody in order to frame Spider-Man, there's probably Mysterio behind it.
Yeah.
So he and Venom looking for Mysterio. They find him. They beat the crap out of him. And Mysterio's like, "Well, I'm not the bad guy here. I was just working for someone else, a mysterious, shadowy benefactor that nobody knows who it is."
Right.
And then they start fighting symbiotes that are like the race that Venom is from. So then they find out, well, there's only one other symbiote who's capable of creating these things that we end up having a fight here, and that's Carnage. Obviously, he's part of it. So they track Carnage down, and then that's revealed that Carnage was actually working with Doc Ock himself, who faked his own death so that he could frame Spider-Man and hopefully take over the city. You beat up Doc Ock, and then you beat up Carnage. But when you beat up Carnage, the symbiote just leaves his host behind, the murderer Cletus Cassidy. And then the symbiote latches on to Doc Ock. So then the monstrous Carnage Doc is the final boss. You don't really fight; it's just like a big escape chase scene because that boss is presented as being so tough that if you tried to fight him, he'd just murder you instantly. So you have to run away from it.
We got a bank here. Not a big branch, but I've learned that the vault is temporarily holding stacks of cash in transit. Foreign exchange.
Yeah, good stuff.
Anyway, you know how to do it.
Fun game, lots of different environments. Just about very few Spider-Man villains don't end up being in the game. Like in the first game, they didn't have Shocker and Electro, but they had the Lizard, Venom, Doc Ock, Carnage, Mysterio, the Rhino, Scorpion. So that's what the second game was, is to just put everybody in there who hadn't made it in the first one. And you know, it was pretty good.
Let's have some fun. Get the fuck down. I said down. You stay where you are. Come
Make
with
the
me.
cops think twice about coming in here. Watch for the cameras. Don't let them see you.
Come with me.
George Costanza, as you know him, ceases to exist.
Spicy.
Control. I think maybe you should take the rest of the shift off. Okay?
I remember playing the crap out of the Spider-Man movie video game,
I'm not gonna tell on you.
which was not a great game, but it hit at just the right time, and me and my brother played the hell out of it. Oh, man. Oh, man.
Oh, how 3 groups ended up there, but whatever.
We got a bank here. Not a big branch, but I've learned that the you can try finding key cards. 2 of them, if you want to sneak this place. Maybe in the trunks. Or go loud. It's your choice.
It's already midnight. How did that happen? How could this happen?
Time to kick some ass.
Well, that's hysterical, David.
But
Game between 2 really bad baseball teams ended comically.
what the Marlins do.
There's more than one bad baseball team in the world.
We'll have cameras. Be careful.
Yes, but there's only one worst.
Where the ladder is, gang. You can access the roof from there.
Piece of tinfoil on the antenna. It's fixed now.
In fact, you know what? I'm just going to start rooting for the Celtics, because if I root for a team, they're fucking cursed, so screw it. Let's go Celtics. I want to see Kristaps Porzingis win a ring. And make it even funnier, the whole,
Control. Yeah, just changing the batteries.
I'll never forget that meme that Wolves fans were sharing before the Karl Anthony Towns draft,
Mm-hmm.
where they were memeing that Flip would fuck it all up and he'd draft Kristaps first overall instead,
Mm-hmm.
when realistically that would have been a better decision.
Probably. Although at least
Camera there.
Towns stays healthy. At least Towns stays on the field or court.
Down on the ground.
Yeah.
Don't move.
Something to be said for that.
No fucking heroics, okay? Don't try to be a fucking hero, okay? Don't move, okay?
Yeah, if Porzingis ended up winning a ring before Cat even made the finals, that'd be pretty funny. But if he just straight up outplayed him in the finals, that'd be even funnier.
No fucking heroics, okay? Down.
You sure you want to do that? You want a massacre here?
Don't fuck with me, okay? Stay down.
You kill civilians like this, and we're gonna lose all of our cash-paying cleaner able to trade you for a hostage now if you end up in custody.
Follow.
You got one of the key cards. Now find the other one.
Yeah, the Rockies and Marlins are the two worst teams.
Follow me.
And I think the Rockies are worse because the Marlins swept the series the only time that they played.
Yeah. So it could be worse. Although you probably wish it was worse so you could get the #1 pick or something. I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter
That's what
that
I've been
much in
trying to tell
baseball.
people. I'm like, baseball is like 30 rounds of draft, and they draft high schoolers. Like, getting the first pick in baseball's draft, I don't think it means anything, you know? But having said that, it's better to have the first pick than
Follow.
like have a really, really bad pick, but like still it's
Hmm.
Come with me.
Change my pitch up. Smack my bitch up.
Come on.
Alright, we might actually be able to pull this off. This is going to be tight,
Come with me.
but this is not a bad start.
Follow. Place the body bag case here. Come on. Follow me.
Oh, fuck me.
Get down.
Oh, time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much.
Got a body bag case here.
good lord, it's already Friday. I didn't even realize I lost Thursday. Shit.
Who needs it?
Yeah, Thursday usually sucks.
Follow me. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come with me. Come with me. miles away.
There we go. Green lights. Let the time lock do its thing. I'd love to see the manager's face when those doors swing wide open.
4 minutes, okay.
One of you guys answer the phone and pass me through. Robert's Bank, everything is under control. How can I help you?
Yeah. You know, it sucks when there's a spider that is in your room somewhere that you don't know where it is.
Yeah, I hate that too.
You gotta start shaking your shoes and shaking your clothes and like before you put anything on, you gotta fuck with it just to make sure there's nothing
Mm-hmm.
ready to surprise you in there.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Especially someone like me that really hates spiders.
One of you guys answer the phone and pass me through. Good afternoon. My name is Randolph. I'll be helping you today.
Hi, I just saw a show and the bank got robbed. And I want to move my money to a bank that doesn't get robbed.
Leave it to me. I can certainly help you with that. 2 minutes, guys. One of you guys answer the phone and pass me through. This is Robert's Bank. How may I help you today?
This is Hillary over at GenSec.
Oh, son of a
Tony is
bitch.
not available right now. Can I take a message?
Yeah, tell him his ass is on the line if he isn't available for the
Well,
regular time lock check-in.
we're not going to have a clean run,
He got called into a meeting with a big account.
but
He's doing a great job.
Well, look, I'm gonna send some guys over there to check on things.
that sucks.
All right. 1 more minute till the time lock opens the vault.
That's just straight up rude and inconsiderate.
Almost there, gang. Any second now. One of you guys answer the phone and pass me through. There it goes. The vault is open. It's all yours, gang. This is Randolph. Robert's Bank is happy to serve you. Well, so much for stealth, but the job's half done. Just get the money out of there. And there goes the escape driver. Keep going. I'll figure something out.
Okay, this is very much suboptimal. In fact, you know what? Fuck it. That one's a pain in the ass. I don't feel like doing it no more.
was one of those bloodsuckers that got a fat, taxpayer-funded bailout deal.
Mm.
The vault is buried deep in the back of the bank. Getting through it will be tough, but we have some help. An inside man is prepped and waiting for you. They're going to help us once you're in there. You can do this loud, or you can take it softly. Up to you. You know your roles. Walk inside. Okay, find the bank manager.
But
Stop calling me all the time. Oh,
The vault is buried deep in the back of the bank. Getting go inside. We gotta find the bank manager.
buy me Bone Storm or go to hell.
I'll watch them card. I'll be there if things go wrong.
Based.
You got this.
let's have some fun.
Hey, hey! Watch where you're
I
shooting.
got the key card.
Now use the key card to get inside the server room. It's on the second floor.
I'll be here. I'm in it for plan B.
That's the front and upstairs dark as far as cameras are
High
concerned.
control.
Cameras in the
I was
vault
just
area
thinking
run on
about
a
joining the
separate
army.
circuit, though.
You know, see the world, meet interesting people, and kill them. What do you say?
Use the key card to enter the server room on the second floor.
I'd like to draw your attention to the fact that there's in the audience.
It's here. I found it. Open up.
Metal
Jose.
detectors need to be shut down. You can do that by disabling the power. Look for circuit boxes. That's the metal detectors dealt with. Great. I managed to get one of the employees onto our side. They're willing to open the gates leading to the vault. Let me put them through.
Is this thing on? I can get you through the gates, but only after you find a 4-digit key code. We can't use mine or they'll know it was me.
You
All
got
right,
it.
gang.
I get it
found
done.
some terminals that might have a suitable code. I need you to run a little hack on them. Check the terminals, gang. We're looking for a code.
Move.
This might be the one.
Secure.
Sneed. Mauled.
And the code is 1138. Okay, now we can meet with the insider. Get to the gates.
Coming from floor 2, heading to the gates. See you there.
The manager asked me to tell you to do the rounds. I'll be here for a while. Go on now.
I'm waiting at the gates. Hurry up!
The gates protect the vault area. You have the code, right?
Enter the code.
So far, so good.
Okay, we're in.
It's open, and I didn't see anything.
Next, the vault door. It's accessed by 2 keycard terminals. Swipe them both ASAP. Got it? Now find 2 keycards. You're looking for 2 keycards. Look around the desks, offices.
I got a
Okay,
key card
now
here.
you gotta use the first card in the security room, and then you gotta be quick to swipe the second on the panel by the vault door.
Keep looking, coño. Get down. You fucking deaf or what? Get down.
All right. Not a single
Hey,
camera
you wanna
left
die?
to watch
Get
our
the fuck down.
shenanigans. Great work.
Last chance, asshole. Get down. And stay there. You don't move, okay? Why do we have these fucking radios anyway? Nothing's gonna happen. We should just go home.
Good. Make the cops think twice about
Get
coming
down.
in here.
Follow.
We need 2 keycards to open the vault. Keep looking.
2-5 here, reporting in. I found somebody.
Hey, control.
Okay, please don't fuck me over here.
The army. You know,
I think we're
go around,
okay.
meet interesting people and
But this
kill
would
them.
make me really
What do you
sad.
think? Place the body bag case here.
I have no idea how he saw what I was getting up to all the way over there, but whatever, it doesn't matter now. But that would have tilted the fuck out of me, man.
Follow me.
If that had cost me the run, I may have gotten banned off Twitch for what would have happened next.
Man, it's a good thing your guys are wearing masks. You can't tell.
Right.
Search the offices, desks. Those keycards are around there somewhere.
fucking bored here. How long is left on my shift, you assholes?
All right. I think we're in the clear.
Now sweat
Hey,
the
I found the
voltage
key
panel.
card.
Come on.
Let's get it open.
Ta-da!
Go yeah, that's right. Faster. Don't fuck with Tony Montana.
The vault's open and ready for you, gang. Just grab that loot.
Okay, empty.
Neatly stacked. Oh, don't be shy, gang. Go get it. Ah, look at all that cash. Okay,
Fuck with me.
fill your bags,
Fucking
gang.
with the best.
You think I killed 2 kids and a woman?
Yes.
That's one. That's two. That's three. That's four. That's five. That's six.
Say good night to the bad guy.
That's seven. Now, ditch the bags into the vent by the elevators. They'll be fine, don't worry. That's eight. Now, you ready to call it? Find our insider. She's going to show you a way to slip out. Keep him coming. Our insider can show you the way out. Find her.
Too bad you can't do the safety deposit boxes on this level.
Whoa. Wow. Watching this video. Top 15 worst plays of the 2023 college football season.
Oh, I saw that in my recommendeds, but I didn't watch it.
Very first play, NC State versus UConn. UConn's got the ball. I've never seen this happen before. They snap out of the Wildcat, and the converging runners actually slammed into each other and caused a fumble.
Right. Follow me and we'll get you out. Hope you got what you wanted.
That's kind of what happened. Like what happened in
Wow.
that Giants Jaguars preseason game.
I'm sitting here watching it. I'm all like, wow, I didn't think UConn was that bad.
Oh, at football they're not
Lord.
particularly good. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Next play, Texas A&M versus Tennessee. Texas A&M quarterback, he's under center. When he snaps the ball and turns around to go hand it off,
Mm-hmm.
he trips when he turns around and he just falls down. So they immediately just tag him down, sack.
That happens not frequently, but it happens enough to where I know I've seen it before.
Oh, what's even worse is they went for it on 4th and 1 when that happened. That's why it's on the list.
Mm-hmm. Fucking cunt. Alright. I really wish you could kill her once she started acting like that. If this gets blown by that bullshit, I'm going to be very, very unhappy.
Wow, you threw right at him. What the fuck? Wait a minute. Is that who I think it is? It couldn't be.
Hurry, hurry!
Yeah, she didn't do her job fast enough, though, and now I have to deal with this shit. If she had done her job fast enough, this would not be an issue. Now I need to rely on the AI bots to do a competent job protecting me while I'm shuffling money around. Although I do actually have slightly better guns. So I can help a little bit, but this still sucks. I wanted a full stealth run.
Yeah.
I was so
Number
close.
1 ends up being exactly what everybody thought it would be. The horrific idea Miami had to run the ball instead of taking a knee.
Yeah, that was hilarious. No offense.
Yeah, it happens. Specifically, it happens to Miami all the time, constantly, nonstop. At this point, I'm frankly shocked that Miami has any success as a sports town. Let alone the success that they do, because I'm sitting here like, man, we just we're borderline Cleveland in terms of how badly we fuck everything up.
Ain't nobody Cleveland.
That hurts. Get me a fucking medic bag. Faster.
Guess it isn't over yet. We got another police assault on 30. Keep him coming.
Guys, I've shot more bullets than you guys, and I'm not even trying to... Like, what the hell? Earn your goddamn keep. And you're getting in my fucking way. The fuck?
Good luck, everybody.
Run faster.
It really is unbelievable how useless the AI is in this game most of the time, man.
I can imagine.
Please don't make me do the escape. If I have to do the escape, I am in such big fucking trouble.
Those bastards are in the vent.
That's all of them. Let's get out of here.
Okay, good. I don't have to do the escape. Fuck yeah. Alright.
Outstanding, gang. I wish all
I lose my bonus for doing it stealthy because I didn't punch it through, but we did it. The important thing is we did it. Hmm. Alright, let me do the jewelry store thing one more time. Just to wrap things up tonight. And then I will be getting out of here.
Sounds good.
This town is a
It's
great place to
possible.
fence jewelry. Easy to move. Diplomats and trophy wives buying it.
I'll wait for you here. Don't take too long. Okay.
Okay, time for a smash and grab. We're looking for the agreed amount of jewels from the store. If you want more, go back and get them. The display cases are smashable.
Okay, let's fucking do it. Down on the ground. I said down.
I'll keep
And
watching.
stay
Now that
put.
you've taken
Follow
a
me.
hostage, the police assault is going to take more time.
Follow me. Hey, Control. The radio just went fucking dead for no reason. Why we use this crap anyway? We're not in fucking Cuba. Get down. You fucking deaf or what? get down. And don't move. Come with me. It's okay, Control. I was just saying hello to my little friend. You know what I mean? Little birdie's home.
I'm so mad I could shit on the floor.
Get down, asshole. Hey, you wanna die? Get the fuck down. Put. Get down.
It's just Tua's
Thanks,
fault.
asshole. Get down. No fucking heroics, okay?
I've seen people making a big deal out of LeBron getting picked for his 20th All NBA team.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm all like, he wasn't really All NBA this year. He's just getting it based off of reputation, the same way that Kobe got a bunch of all defensive selections when he had long since stopped playing defense.
Yeah. But I mean, every all-time great player gets reputation-based accolades, so
Right.
it's just the circle of life.
Right. It's just yet another one of those things where it's like, well, LeBron played for longer than anybody else, so if other guys like Bird and Jordan and Magic and like fucking so many different guys played as long as LeBron did, they'd have gotten the shit too. Ugh. But yeah, I do not think he was all NBA caliber this season.
Didn't someone vote him
Because
first
if you're
team?
gonna, yeah. So like if you're gonna say that he was all NBA caliber this season, then you need to start talking about a bunch of guys who balled out on bad teams that barely or didn't make the playoffs. I'm sitting there like, if you guys are glazing Wemby to the point where he came in second in Defensive Player of the Year voting, how the fuck do you not also glaze him for an All NBA selection if you're gonna say that LeBron deserves it?
I was surprised Wemby didn't get on, actually. I was actually anticipating it.
Yeah, genuinely, I was too, because like I haven't seen the media freak out over a guy like this since LeBron, and I'm like, man, that fucking.
Mm-hmm.
Actually surprised they didn't vote him. But then they're like, well, to be fair, the Spurs are one of the worst teams in the NBA, and it's like, then why the fuck did you name him second in Defensive Player of the Year voting? The Spurs were the second worst defense in the league. Because, a lot of people try to say, well, the team's bad, and it's all like, Rudy won Defensive Player of the Year on some fucking awful Jazz teams, because even though the team was bad, they were a top 3 defense,
Mm-hmm.
That's what made people feel shocked, is they're like, dude, look at this guy Rudy Gobert, like his best teammate is like fucking Derek Favors, and he's still...
Eric's sexual
What the hell?
favors.
Exactly. Yeah. Bam got big time robbed. Not just last season when they fucking gave it to Marcus Smart, or Houston to go, sorry. Marcus Smart for no reason, but this year coming in third behind Wemby in second, it's disgraceful. This is like Bam spent a large majority of the first half of the season injured, and we were like the 20th ranked defense. He comes back, we finished the season in 5th.
So Gobert's probably going to retire as like the king of the Defensive Player of the Year award, right? He's just going to keep printing them at this rate because he's built that reputation up to where even when he's not a great defensive player anymore, he'll continue to win it.
Plus, this is a very weak defensive era. So, yes, I don't know how many he has right now, but I think he'll break the record before he's done.
Doesn't he have 4 now or something?
Down on the fucking ground.
I think he's got 4.
Yes, this was Rudy Gobert's 4th, and he is tied for the record first all time with Dikembe Mutombo and Ben Wallace, who are the only 2 other players to ever get 4. I think that may even cinch him as a Hall of Famer at that point. And yeah, I would be shocked if Gobert didn't win at least 1 more before it was all said and done. So yeah, he's probably taken home the record for most ever,
Mm-hmm.
Some pretty sweet snatch and grab back there. I bet
which
they're
is
going
pretty
through
wild.
better security measures. Or close. Not our problem.
All right,
I mean,
guys.
I'm not going to take away from him the fact that he's earned it, for sure. But
Mm-hmm.
I definitely don't think he'd have as much if he was playing in, like, the era where Ben Wallace and Ron Artest and Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett were playing.
Mm-hmm.
Because fucking Tim Duncan never won a Defensive Player of the Year award, and you're going to tell me that Rudy Gobert is going to come away with the record for most ever? That's fucking insane to me.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming out. See you guys tomorrow.